Very hot.
Very hot.
Yeah, but fantastic. The first time I've been to the JTT facilities, and they're absolutely wonderful. I'm incredibly impressed. No, it was a very difficult decision because I was born in Liverpool. I'd lived there for 26, 27 years before I left. My mother was very ill at the time and had just passed away when I played my last game with Liverpool, so it was a very, very hard decision for me to make. But I had to play in the Champions League. I wanted to play in the best league available, against the best players available. Yes, I think each footballer is very different. I was not married at the time and I didn't have children, so it was far easier for me to leave the country and go and play in Madrid. I understand that if some people are very close to their families, if they have young children, if they're very settled in England, for instance, and they get very well paid, that they don't want to leave, and I completely understand that. It's just that, I'm speaking personally for myself, the circumstances were perfect for me to leave and join Real Madrid, and that's what I wanted to do. Well, I think La Liga is the best.
Why is it?
Because they're the most successful in the Champions League. And Spanish teams are the most successful in recent years.
What does it make them so successful in continental?
I think technically, you mentioned technical ability. I think technically the Spanish teams are better with the ball. Their movement with the ball is much better than the English teams. I get the intensity in England. I do get the intensity in England. And for the last, if we were talking 5 years ago, I'd say the English league was probably a little bit more closer. But I think in the last couple of years, the English league is becoming a bit like La Liga, as in the top 5 or 6 teams are the best, and the rest are a long, long way off now. The difference now is too big. Not really. I think if you are in and around football matches, when you're playing Saturday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and you're travelling, or different heats, different climates, and you're playing Saturday again, training takes care of itself. You can take training.
I think the most important thing for me at the time was the quality of players you played with. When I was 16, I was joining in with some of the Liverpool superstars, and they made me a better player. Okay. And then if you play with better players, they will drag you with them, they will bring you forward and help you. When I joined Liverpool, Roy Evans, who became Liverpool manager later on, and a manager called Ronnie Moran, they'd been at Liverpool for 20, 30 years as players, and then as coaching staff. They learned how to play football, how to coach football under Bob Paisley, Joe Fagan, Kenny Dalglish. So I probably learned more from them because I joined Liverpool at 14 and I made my debut at 18. So they taught me as much as they could possibly know in the shortest space of time. So I would definitely credit, Roy Evans, who became my manager in later years. I was lucky enough to play with the most incredible players, whether it was, John Barnes for Liverpool, Steven Gerrard, of course, for Liverpool, or Paul Gascoigne for England, Alan Shearer, who was an incredible goal scorer. And then I was lucky enough to play for Real Madrid, who, every single year seemed to have the World Player of the Year, whether it's, El Fenomeno, Ronaldo, Figo, not to mention someone like Raul or Roberto Carlos, who was arguably the greatest left back ever. Fernando Hierro, but I always said Zidane was the best player, just so graceful. Whenever there was a big game, he was there, he scored goals, and I just thought he was the most incredible footballer, I really did. You know what, I don't know, is the answer. I don't. You don't? Because I played in so many different positions. When we won the Champions League for Real Madrid, I played in the centre of midfield, which I didn't play there a lot. I played further forward. When I was at Liverpool, I started my career at Liverpool, I played centre forwards, which was, I was never going to be an out-and-out goal scorer. So I think any player nowadays, if you're going to be involved at the highest level, you're going to need to play 3, 4, 5 positions. I think you have to be able to play on the right, on the left, in the centre if you need be. So I particularly like playing in the centre of midfield. I played there with Fernando Redondo when we won the Champions League, and Raul played there as well, which again was unheard of because he was predominantly a centre forward for Real Madrid. But because we had Nicolas Anelka and Fernando Morientes in the team, Raul played in midfield. So it just shows you that if you're a good player, you should be able to play in many positions. I joined, a lot of players were just leaving. Clarence Seedorf was leaving, Pedro Mijatovic I think was leaving. And when I got to the club, I found it fine, very peaceful. The Spanish players were the bosses in the dressing room, Manolo Sanchis, Fernando Hierro, and I found it a very happy place to be in.
It was different from what was reported in
Yeah,
Spanish.
no, I didn't. No, not at all. And the very first year I was there, we won the Champions League. I think that what happens is then the year later, that's when the president was changed and Florentino came in, and that's when it started to change. And then they wanted me to leave, or not wanted me to leave, but would have been happy for Fernando Redondo to leave, who subsequently left, and they brought Luis Figo in. But then shortly after that, Vicente Del Bosque came in the season before. My relationship with Vicente and everyone was always very, very good. I think if someone's in a better position than you have to pass it to them. Yeah, I mean that's just being unselfish.
So it's all about being adaptable to different situations.
Yeah, if I'm through on goal and somebody's going to have a tap in, I pass to them, let them score. Of course, if it's you one-on-one wanting to do something, I get the fact that you have to create, you have to try and have an assist. But if someone's in a better position than you, I would tell everybody to always pass the ball.
Let me ask you a few things about your teammates in Madrid.
Yes.
Who's the smartest one?
The smartest one?
Yeah.
Oh, I think that was definitely me. The smartest one, it might have been, for instance, someone like Manolo Sanchis when I first arrived, a very important Spanish international. He was steeped in the history of the club. He was a lovely gentleman. So maybe Manolo when I first arrived.
Who's the funniest?
The funniest, again, as the years went on, at Madrid, we would have had someone like Ivan Helguera, who was very funny. The Brazilian Ronaldo, who was hilarious. The Brazilian boys, as everybody knows, like to enjoy themselves.
Correct.
Carlos.
Very outgoing.
Yeah.
Who went the hardest during the training?
The hardest. There would have been someone like Michel Salgado. Yeah, he wanted to win every training session. He'd be marking you and he'd be pulling your shirt and you'd be like, what, the training?
Yeah.
It's like, pinching you and like, oh. So it'd be someone like him. Yes, I mean, it will help the referees once the technology is up to standard. There's still a long way to go, but I'm for it. I must admit, I want it to come into the game. I want the referee to have as much help as they can. Well, I think the Clasico was the biggest game. The atmosphere in the Clasico was incredible because there is a genuine hatred for each team, which I'd never come across. I came across the rivalry of Liverpool and Manchester United, and they don't like each other, and they're 30 miles from each other, and But when the Clasico came around, and particularly when Luis Figo joined Madrid, it was just nasty. The windows of the bus that we were travelling in was smashed. Things got thrown onto the pitch. There was a level of intense hatred because of, various political reasons like there is now. And I just didn't enjoy it that much. I think it's an amazing game.
Correct.
But when I was there at the time and playing in it, you wanted to win, and thankfully, at the time, we were a better team than Barcelona, which was good. A couple of times we had to leave the field because they had to clear the field, and the game got suspended for a while. That should not happen on a football pitch. It's better now, but still it's incredibly intense.
All right, Steve. I think that was it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much for giving us the time.
Absolutely.